Hi guys, it's Sam and I am here today with something of a new video for you. So I know that a lot of people like recommendation videos. I like them. I like to see what other booktubers have to recommend to read, especially those who share a similar taste to me, and even those who don't, because if it's a genre I don't typically read very often, I would like to hear what they like, you know? Get something new to read. But I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different for a recommendation video. I decided to do something called Recommendation Roulette. So basically, I have written down some of my favorite books and series. I try to choose ones that aren't that well known, so they're a little bit different, not ones you guys have heard a lot about. You know, something that I feel that should get out there more and be talked about more on BookTube. And I put a whole bunch of these onto pieces of paper, and I put them in one of my handy dandy Red Sox hats. And I'm going to choose out 3, and I will recommend them to you and tell you why I like them, why I think you should read them, and basically why I think they're good. So I thought this would be a fun idea, something to mix up recommendation videos, something a little bit new, and I will do several of these because I have tons of books in here, and I'm going to just choose 3 each video and talk about those 3 books. So let us get started. I will choose the first book out of the hat of slips here. Not looking. Alright, first one I chose was the Seven Water series. The Seven Water series is a historical fantasy series by Juliet Marillier. It centers around a family who lives in Ireland in the Middle Ages. So you have fairy elements, you have the historical element, particularly in the first book, so it talks a little bit about the English coming to the island and how the people in Ireland are dealing with that and some of their culture being lost. And the first book in particular centers on one particular Irish tale that focuses on a sister and her 7 brothers, I believe it is, and they are cursed by this witch, basically, to live as swans unless their sister can weave them together shirts of nettles without speaking a word and put them over their heads on one of the festivals. I can't remember the name right now, but it's either the one in winter, the one in spring, or the one in fall. I have to look it up. But it's really, really good. It incorporates some original Irish fairy tales, particularly in the first book, and a lot of Irish lore and mythology and different stories, and they're just wonderful, wonderful books. I highly recommend them. They're really magical. The writing is very engaging. She tells a really, really good story, and if you watch my channel regularly, you know that I love Ireland. I love everything about Ireland. It's part of my ancestry that I am most identify with, and so of course I'm going to like these books. But aside from that aspect, they're just wonderfully and beautifully told. The world that she paints is just beautiful, and I highly recommend them. I think there is 6 or 7 in the Seven Water series, and she does have a couple of more series. There's one that she's just starting. I believe it comes out, the first book, in November, but they all take place in Ireland, I believe, and they're just excellent. So I highly recommend the Seven Water series by Juliet Marillier. Alright, now for the second book. The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. The Woman in White is one of the first Victorian mystery novels, and it is excellent. It is really a case of mistaken identity. There's a psychological thriller aspect of it. There's a murder mystery. There's a romance. There's everything going on with this book. I really enjoyed it. It's really engaging for a classic. It was first published in 1860, and I just really recommend it. If you want to get into classics but you think that they're kind of boring, then I would recommend this one because the writing is actually pretty easy to follow, and it's really, really engaging. And you'll get into the story, you'll get into the mystery, and you'll just really, really like it. So you should definitely check out The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. My last recommendation slip is The Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England. This is another book that I own on my Kindle. It is a nonfiction book, but it isn't really your typical history book. The Time Traveler's Guide to England is written sort of like a piece of fiction in terms of its narration, and it doesn't focus on specific historical events that occurred in medieval England. It focuses on the cultural aspects of medieval England. So it describes what people would have worn in different classes of society, what they would have eaten, how they would have lived, what they did for fun, what the different professions were, and what it actually meant, as well as dispelling some rumors and myths about the Middle Ages. It was just a really engaging and really interesting read. I found it a pretty quick read for a nonfiction book, and I highly recommend it. So, if you're looking looking for an interesting and engaging piece of nonfiction, and then I recommend The Time Traveler's Guide. Alright guys, that was my first recommendation roulette video, and I think it's fitting that it was 3 books from 3 of my favorite genres, nonfiction, classics, and fantasy. That was not intentional because I wasn't looking. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you like this idea as a video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought, and keep your eye out for more of these because I have plenty of titles and series and things that I want to recommend to you guys. So definitely be doing these. Again, I might do it once a week, I think. So yeah, keep your eyes out. As always, thank you for watching. And if you enjoy my videos, please thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, guys, happy reading and bye! A channel update. So today's tag is going to be the 25 bookish things tag, which is going to be 25 book-related facts about myself.